You've probably squeezed it onto French fries 1,000 times. Your burgers, pizzas, and even hot dogs would be completely soulless without that iconic splash of red. But you've never really seen how it's born, not the version you see in your kitchen, but the real hardcore industrial miracle. The distance between that wild earthy farmland and the squeeze bottle on your dining table is just 72 short hours. This is a life or death race against time, violence, and extreme precision. What goes in is rough, alive, and weathered. What comes out is a smooth, thick, perfectly balanced industrial work of art. This is what happens in between. Until you see this process, you will never look at the sauce on your fries the same way again. Our journey begins at the horizon. Across endless fields of vibrant red, massive combine harvesters roar like steel beasts. The Y on T peeking carefully. This is a brutal harvest. Massive mechanical arms ruthlessly pull the vines, roots and all, into the belly of the machine. Inside violent shaking mechanisms strip thousands of plump tomatoes from their branches in seconds. A waterfall of bright red tomatoes pours directly into heavy trucks driving right alongside. Dozens of trucks, fully loaded with fresh fruit, form an endless convoy, kicking up clouds of dust. The wire racing against the clock, speeding toward the processing plant. Because the countdown starts the second the tomato leaves the vine. Friction is everything. In this massive industrial network, a single minute of delay means tons of wasted raw material. When the trucks arrive at their destination, the real baptism begins. Tons of tomatoes are dumped instantly into massive water flumes. You can hear the splash on the terrifying roar of industrial water pumps. High gauge pressure water rushes like a boiling torrent, violently washing away dirt, leaves, and every trace of the farm in mere seconds. But this is just the first test. Next, they are sent onto a high-speed roller conveyor, the most ruthless checkpoint in the entire factory. High-gauge tech optical sensors hidden above scan every passing tomato in 360 degrees at millisecond speeds. If there's even a hint of unripe, a green or a slight scratch on the skin, the sensors immediately trigger high-pressure air valves. With countless rapid bursts, the rejected tomatoes are blasted away with flawless, merciless precision. There is no pity here. Only the most perfect, deep red fruits are worthy of entering the next stage of destruction and rebirth. The real reconstruction begins. And by ear-piercing mechanical grinding. These hand-picked, perfect tomatoes are fed into massive industrial crushers. There is no gentle massaging here, just instant, violent shredding. The once plump, juicy fruits are instantly reduced to a rough, red slurry full of skins and seeds. But this is rig, now. They hold way too much water to achieve the thickness you know and love. Tens of thousands of gallons of tomato puree are pumped directly into gigantic, multi-story vacuum heating tanks. What happens next is a visual and auditory shock. Extreme heat takes over. You can see thick steam frantically pouring through complex pipes, and hear the boiling red mud churning inside massive containers, sounding like rolling magma. Under the dual torture of extreme heat and vacuum pressure, excess water is ruthlessly and rapidly evaporated. During this grueling high-pressure boiling process, the once watery puree shrinks wildly in volume, deepens in color, and becomes incredibly thick. But a rough texture is absolutely not the final goal. The boiling hot, concentrated tomato paste is immediately pumped under high pressure into high-speed, mesh centrifugal filters, ripped apart by intense centrifugal force. The tomato skins and hard seeds are violently stripped away and blasted down a waste pipe. Weighty remains is a tomato puree as smooth as silk and utterly pure. Next comes the moment it gets its soul, full low in. A precisely measured, rec IP often guarded by major companies as a top secret for massive amounts of white sugar, salt, vinegar, and secret spices are injected by robotic arms directly into massive mixing vates. Giant mixing blades spin like tornadoes, blending everything perfectly, and the air fills with that intense, unmistakably sweet and tangy aroma. You can see the sauce transform from a bright, vibrant red into a deep, glossy, incredibly tempting dark crimson. The balance of sweet and sour, and the heavy thickness of the texture, reach industrial-grade perfection in this exact moment. Phenol Y to guarantee it survives in your fridge for months. The seasoned sauce must face one last extreme challenge. It travels at breakneck speed through flash pasteurization pipes that hit extreme temperatures for just a split second. completely destroying any lurking microorganisms before cooling rapidly. Once it cools down, this incredibly thick, dark red magic liquid is precisely injected into the endless assembly line of those glass or plastic squeeze bottles you know so well. The entire process is obsessively uniform. With every rise and fall of the mechanical pumps, the injected weight is identical to the gram. Not a single drop is spilled. Mechan arms spin the caps on at blinding speeds and slap on glossy commercial labels. Hundreds, thousands, millions of perfect bottles are packed and sealed by fully automated robotic claws. Just 72 hours ago, they were hanging in muddy fields, battered by the elements and covered in morning dew. Now, they are about to board cargo ships and trucks, destined for supermarket shelves and fast food joints around the world, eventually resting quietly on your dining table. Next tea time you squeeze it recklessly onto your hot food. Remember the shocking and frantic journey it took to get there.